Hello, farmers, and welcome to another episode of the harvest season. My name is Al.
My name is Kevin, here with a vengeance.
You sounded a little bit unsure about your name there. And we're here today to talk about cottage score games. Woo!
Woo! I can't get the wolf pack thing out of my head now. After listening to last 2 weeks, you're like the wolf.
uh, this episode, we are going to talk about Hello Kitty Island Adventure. Oh, but you've already talked about that, I hear you say. Well, we're going for a second harvest of it
Second
because
harvest.
because it has finally come out on Steam and Switch.
Switch and
Um,
other things, yes.
Switch another. You can tell what Kevin cares about.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're going to talk about that.
I don't have a Steam Deck, so well.
Fair. Um, Before that, we have some news. But first of all, Kevin, what have you been up to?
Oh, hello everyone. I have been up to work. I spent a lot of time working. Um I play. I'm in one of those periods where I'm just doing a lot of daily sort of stuff, comfort games. Endless Zone Zero continues to be good. Marvel Snap. Are you playing Marvel Snap right now? No, you're not. I totally
I
tell
am
you're
not.
not.
No, no. I took a break
That's
from
fine.
it because it was basically consuming me.
That's fine. It consumed me, but I think it's in a decent place. So I'm okay being consumed by Marvel Snap. We got the new season-based stuff, the Brave New World, the Red Hulk and the new Captain America, all that good stuff. Um,
I have been occasionally looking
I
at um the new cards and stuff like that, but I haven't looked at the new season stuff. Is there anything that
yeah,
excites you?
um, they're interesting. I funnily enough, the one that excites me most is not related to the movie. It's a character called Diamondback. She's like
Hmm.
Diamondback is a type of rattlesnake, if you're not familiar. So she's part of a group called the Serpent Society. But she I can't remember exactly what, but she's got one of those effects that lowers everyone else's power, like on your enemies. Like I think it like doubles the amount lowered or something like that. Um, so I'm excited by that. Otherwise, like the other stuff's fine. None of it's like crazy game breaking.
Hmm.
I'm more excited by some stuff in the data mines for next month. But
Oh,
yeah, the season's okay. Yeah, next month is
is
going
next
to
month?
be
Is it Daredevil stuff?
no,
No.
actually, oh, that'd be a good
Okay.
one, but no. They're going I forget the name of it, but basically like ancient Avengers from like BC or whatever, Avengers
Oh,
BC, something like that.
interesting.
I don't remember. Yeah. They have some interesting effects. But yeah, otherwise Marvel Snap is good. And I can see my visual customizations and deck stuff all within um
All right.
all during the whole
All
match,
right.
not at just
All
the
right.
beginning.
Calm down. Calm down. You just want to mock the Pokemon fans again.
Look, I had no problem with Pocket. They're the ones who are kind of shooting themselves in the foot
Oh,
here.
I don't even. Yeah. We don't need to. We've talked about that so many times. I don't think we need to talk about it again.
Yeah, I know. I just I feel bad for you guys, honestly. But yeah, Marvel Snaps,
I
good
mean, I don't feel
good
bad for
stuff.
me. I don't particularly care because I'm just collecting, right? Yeah, I do some battles, but my main point is collecting, and that is what I'm doing. Whereas with Marvel Snap, it's much more a battle focused game
Yeah,
because there are fewer
yeah, you know
cards.
what? You're right. If you're just collecting, Pocket is still probably all right. Well, I
Straight.
say that, but the trading, I guess, is collecting related. So
Uh, Look,
it's fine.
it's less bad than it was, but it's still bad.
Oh, I get you.
I will say, I like how it's actually implemented. The currencies are stupid, the restrictions are stupid, but I like the feature
Yeah.
how it's actually implemented.
Okay. Well, there you go. Um, trying to clear that bar. Um, but yeah, let's see. Other than that, obviously, Super Mario Odyssey, we were playing over that at Triple R, so I've been playing some of that too. That's good stuff. What do I have to say? It's Super Mario Odyssey. It's a good game. Um,
Yeah.
but honestly, this week it's largely been Hello Kitty because I've been trying to climb that in because we did not have a lot of time. It was like what, a week before recording, roughly a little more than a week when it came out. So I got it, and I'm rushing to get it, to get through it. But yeah, so you'll hear my thoughts later. What about you, Al? What's going on over there?
I mean, I wasn't planning on talking about it, but yeah, I've been playing Pocket as usual. Got the new set, got most of the new set. So I'm continuing for another few weeks of getting no cards most days. Uh,
I I will say I will say the Cynthia accessories packs that came out were pretty good.
yeah,
That was good stuff.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
In fact, it's why don't they make that real? Like,
I will only buy the stuff that is bundled with gold. I'm not going to spend gold on those things because the problem there is like I could use those gold for cards rather than the accessories, right? That's the problem.
that's an
Whereas I
excellent.
bought both of the ones. So there was one with the first set and there's one with the second set, which is like you buy it and you get gold and cosmetics. It's like I will do that because then I'm getting the gold as well. But
Sure.
yeah, I it's definitely my fault and my problem that I'm getting the set so quickly because what I'm doing obviously is I'm saving up my hourglasses and I'm spending some gold and I'm opening like 50 packs in the first couple of days. So obviously I'm going to get most of the set when I do that. But it makes for a fun couple of days at least. What else am I doing? I am continuing to play Harvest Moon Home Sweet Home. So that is a thing that I'm still continuing.
Okay, okay.
Um, I might have more to say about that in a future episode. We'll see. Uh,
I'm impressed you're still playing. I will say that. That alone is a testament to the quality of the game. Well, relative to other
yeah,
Natsume
yeah.
titles.
It, it it's yeah. Okay, I'm not going to say anything about it just now. But yeah, I feel like I am actively enjoying myself. I think that's as far as
Is
I'll
it
go at this point.
Stockholm Syndrome?
I don't think
That's
so. I think it's just that the game gets better as you play it more,
mm,
right? Because you unlock better tools and stuff, and that makes some of the annoyances become less annoying. You know.
okay. That is interesting. Um,
The other
huh.
thing I'm playing just now is Sugar Dew Island because we'll talk about that in the news.
Oh, you're going for it. Oh man, you need to get Re-Legend on there. Go for the hat trick, Al.
Let's talk about that in the news. But yeah, that is another thing I've been playing this week. And not a game, but Kevin, I have watched The Gifted. Have you ever seen The Gifted?
The Gifted.
So this was one
No.
of
What
the
is?
like 2017, 2018, 2019 X-Men series.
Oh man.
So
Oh, this is one of those weird ones that. Okay, does it? Do they even? Oh, it has an X over the I. Okay, so they are using the X, but this isn't the New Mutants. This
no, no,
is.
no. So this was so they had Legion and they had The Gifted. They were both around the
Okay.
same sort of time, and Legion was
Okay.
obviously about Legion, and so that was very weird because well, his powers are weird, and
Yep.
his not powers are also weird. Um, so that was definitely a weird show to watch, but I really liked that. The Gifted is much more kind of standard, I guess. It feels a lot kind of like the Arrowverse sort of stuff, but obviously Marvel X
Okay.
Men. Um,
Okay.
and it's much more like group of mutants. It's a group of mutants fighting against you know humans who are trying to kill them, and the government is trying to kill them, and blah 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 blah. Um, and the funny thing about it is probably the thing I've seen that has the most references to the X-Men without having a single X-Men on it. Uh, there's like it feels like every episode they mention the X-Men. So basically the concept, the starting point behind the series is the X-Men disappeared a few years ago. And then there was
Okay.
a horrible disaster in I think it was DC where some unidentified mutant has some unidentified accident that means there's basically a massive explosion and it kills a bunch of people.
Okay.
And so since then, they set up this new government task force called Sentinel Services. Of course, they have to use the name
Of
Sentinel.
course.
Um, and
Do you get it? Do you
Trask
get
is
it
Trask
out?
Trask is mentioned, you know, the usual blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And they're set up to like they start off by being like, oh, we are containing criminal mutants, but of course, it
Uh-huh.
never stops at that. Blah 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 blah.
What?
You know exactly where that leads, right?
What? Oh boy, do I?
So,
I see that.
which
I don't
by
know.
the way, it feels very painful watching this in 2025. Just gonna put that out there. um,
Uh,
you know, with the talk of like,
uh,
you know, camps to put them in, and you know, let's.
oh, sick.
I kind of wish I'd watched it last year rather than this year, but
This sounds
um,
like a fun segment. I will describe thing. Is this a scene from The Gifted or Trump's first 2 weeks in office? Could be both.
so the kind of main characters are, I don't know if you've who are they called? Because I had not heard of them before. The Strucker twins. That's what it is. Do you know the Strucker twins?
Okay, so I pulled up the wiki because I'm curious. This no, and I'm
Fenris.
curious because is that any relation to Baron von Strucker from Hydra?
So yes, kind of.
Oh,
So I what I'll say is in the comics, yes, but in the show, not really.
okay, sure.
So as far as I
Okay,
can see
that's interesting.
in the comics, there are the Strucker twins who are
Yeah,
children
yeah,
of
I know the Strucker
Baron
train
Strucker.
twins. I love Wanda and Pietro.
It does, yeah. Well, yeah, there is a lot of similarities between these things. They are never mentioned. Baron Strucker is never mentioned in the series, so they could still be.
Oh,
So
that's
that
good stuff.
it's not focusing on the two twins that are in the comics. It's like their
Yeah.
great grandchildren who are
Okay.
not twins either. They're just brother and sister a few years apart, but they have the same powers as the Strucker twins did. And there's a whole thing around like their father was working for Sentinel Services, and but it turns out he was actually secretly a mutant. He just didn't know it because his father had cured the X gene in him. Blah 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 blah. Like lots of complicated things around that.
Of course.
It was fine. I enjoyed it. It wasn't bad by any stretch of the imagination, but it wasn't like, I think Legion was a very good show, and this was a fine show. It was fine. I enjoyed it. I'm glad I watched it. I'm a little bit annoyed because they cancelled it after season 2, but season 2 ended on a cliffhanger.
Sick. That's the best.
And they did have a lot of different mutants with a lot of different powers, some of which you would recognize. Like they had Polaris, who's probably like the most well-known one they had in the series.
How crazy.
They never mention Magneto.
I was about to say how crazy. I imagine they didn't, and how crazy it is that we got Polaris, but not.
So it's very clear that they're talking about him, but they never use his name. Right. So she constantly talks about her birth father, and they talk about how, oh, she is the like, you know, she's mutant royalty and all these things. Like it's so clear. It's just like, did you not have the rights to the name? Like that's basically what it feels like, right? It was like, just say the name. Oh my word, everybody knows who you're talking about.
Oh, that's so good. Oh.
So yeah, I enjoyed it. It was fun. And I've kind of now, I've not gone back to like the kind of like 90s and previous Marvel live action shows, but like everything post Millennium, I've now watched all of them. Well, just because time, I've just not got there yet. Like I'm obviously going to watch.
I'm obviously.
I thought you're. No, I'm just like you can't watch everything all at the same time, right? You just have to get things slowly. So, like, obviously, I'm going to watch, you know, the Incredible Hulk, Lou Ferrigno's Incredible Hulk, and I'll see what I'll think if there's any others I want to watch. But like, I've watched all the big live action Marvel ones except for that Hulk show. I think.
Did you watch all of Agents of Shield?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Who knows if I'll end up watching the like, what was it, the 90s? There was a 90s Captain America, I think, and stuff like that. Who knows if I'll get to watch
yeah.
them or not? But yeah, it's fun. I might go. I'll probably watch a bunch of animated stuff first. Um,
Yeah, you're probably
but
better off.
I think I
Watch
might
that
go
Iron Man
into.
with the mullet.
Well, I probably will end up going with some DC stuff first, right? Because I still need to watch the 90s animated Batman and stuff like that.
Wait, have you never seen
I haven't.
or wow.
I mean, I've seen clips here and there, but I've not
Yeah, yeah, of
seen
course, right?
full
Like I
episodes.
assume you've seen.
Yeah.
But wow, oh man, you're in a treat. Forget all everything else like you've ever listed. Wow.
So I've got that to watch,
Batman.
and I think there's one really good Justice League one, I think, isn't there, that people always talk about?
Yes. So yeah, so that's the DCAU, the DC
Yeah.
animated universe that started off with the 90s Batman.
Yeah.
And they just kind of went off there. Because
Yeah,
it's all in the same canon.
I've got a list from our mutual friend Alex. He sent me a spreadsheet with basically all of the stuff that he cares about, and like a column that says whether this is a must watch, I should watch, or you can skip it, sort of thing. So I will probably start watching those.
Oh man, I'm excited for you. I can't wait to hear your thoughts.
Well,
Mitch,
I was surprised with how few episodes there are in the original Batman the Animated Series from the 90s. Like there aren't
yeah,
actually that many.
well, are you
85
counting?
episodes. It's 4 seasons.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Oh, yes, I remember this one. This was weird because it's like listed in my app, my TV tracking app, as season 1 has 60 episodes, 2 and 3 have 10 each, and then 4 has 5. So it looks like they got
That's
really
weird.
confused as to what seasons were.
That is very odd.
It's one of those ones that's going to
Um,
be super fun to try and watch everything because they're in weird orders and they can't decide. Like there'll be 3 specific episodes that are only on one random service. It's like I've been trying to watch for a couple of years now. I've been trying to finish watching Teen Titans Go, but it's
Good
murder
luck
to
with
try
that.
so I've done all of seasons 1 to 5 except 3 specific episodes from season 5. No, they're not the last 3 episodes. They are episodes 50, 51, and 52 of 54. And I've also watched episode 14 of season 6. Why? Who knows? So
Okay.
Netflix had seasons 2, 3, 4, and 5 mostly. They didn't have season 1. I watched season 1 on something else. And then season 6, 7, and 8, there's like some. Well, I think 8 is still airing just now, isn't it? It stopped airing in November. Okay,
Probably. I
still.
don't know. That thing's eternal.
Well,
It's
yeah.
wild to think.
And so, yeah, it's like there are some episodes of each of those seasons on some services, but like 5 episodes of season 6 are on one random service. And then there's like 2 episodes of season 8, and then maybe like 20 episodes of season 7. And I know it doesn't matter. I don't need to watch this show in order because this is the least, the show where like continuity matters the least, right? Because everything it's
Yeah.
it's like The Simpsons, right? There's very few things that actually change, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter, but some small things matter. Right? Like there was an arc of like 5 episodes where they had a new character. And if you randomly watched the 3rd episode of that, you'd be like, who is this random character? Why are they
That
here?
is true.
But it
Yeah.
doesn't happen very often. So it's
you're
hard
right.
to predict. That's the problem.
Oh, that's incredible. Good times. Good times. Um, oh man, I'm like I think I'm honestly way more excited for you to go through the DC stuff and the Marvel stuff because the quality's so much higher in general.
Yeah, I think
On the
I
small
think
screen.
I've watched all of the like actually good Marvel animated stuff.
Wait, did you watch Earth's Mightiest Heroes?
I have not. No. Is that one I need to watch?
You didn't watch? Oh my goodness.
Would you calm
Yes.
down? It's so easy not to watch things. So which was this one? So Earth's Mightiest Heroes, you say it's called. Just is
This
that all it's called?
was yeah, Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes. Yes. It
Oh, it's
was
got
a,
Avengers in the name, right? Okay.
Yes.
The Avengers,
It's
Earth's Mightiest Heroes. This is from
late
2010.
Yeah, let's say late 2000s, early 2010s. Yeah.
Yeah. 2 seasons,
That
26 episodes each.
okay, so
2010
that
to
is probably the
2012.
best animated Marvel project. No,
Oh,
that well,
really?
okay, no, hold on, let me.
Better
Uh,
than X-Men and
better.
Spider-Man.
You know what? I'll say that might be that's tough to say. Um,
I'm going to need to post in Slack, haven't I, and say what are the must watch Marvel animated
okay.
ones,
Well,
and make sure that I've watched all of them.
I will say Earth's Mightiest Heroes is a must watch. At the
Okay.
very least, it is probably one of the definitive pieces of Avengers. No, not the. It is the definitive piece of Avengers media.
Okay.
Um,
Fair
because
enough.
it came out prior to the MCU film Avengers.
Yeah,
So
just in the
it
run up to it, basically.
yes. And so it got to cover everything before, like all the classic Avengers stories, more or less, and the
It's not in the same
characterizations.
continuity, right? It's not MCU.
It is not, no.
Right.
So it is excellent, excellent, excellent. And sadly, the MCU actually killed it. First off, they
Classic.
delayed the second season by a year or two, so it would coincide with the release of the MCU Avengers film, more or less. And then after that, they canceled the series to start a new series that was more MCU related or closer to that.
Right. Okay.
And it's crying shame.
These things are so
Um,
much easier to keep track of than to catch up on, right? Like it's
yeah.
people always talk, oh, there's so much Marvel stuff now, but like I feel like you just weren't paying attention if you didn't think there was a lot of Marvel stuff before, right?
Oh
Like there's
yeah, no, there's
so many
always
things.
there's so much Marvel stuff. Did you watch Spectacular Spider-Man?
No, but it's on my list.
Okay, good. Because yeah, okay, like I'd put Avengers like right up there as Spectacular. They were aired around the same time too. Like they're just the definitive things for their respective series, more or less. Like as much as I love 90s Spider-Man because it's so campy and ridiculous and ingrained into my childhood, Spectacular Spider-Man is the actual one you should watch because that's the good one and actually does everything correctly.
Okay,
Um,
fair enough.
yeah. But yeah, I can't. Oh man, you still got a lot of good stuff ahead. I'm very excited for you. Um,
There's always more stuff to watch.
all right.
I think
Um,
I think that's me. All right, let's talk about some news. First up, we have Ratopia, which is like a town builder
the
farming
Ratopia builder,
survival
the Rat
game,
Village
however you want to
builder.
describe it. It is going to hit 1.0 on the 1st of May. A woo.
I
Um,
I'm thrilled for that. I'm gonna play that because I like 1.0s and this is a cool. I've always thought this is a cool one because it's. I mean, one, it's kind of that side 2D Terraria-esque gameplay, but it's rats, so that's way more fun.
it is rats. You're correct. Yeah, this is. I have a feeling I'm going to play this one. But I don't know how I'm going to feel about it, but I'm intrigued by it. Like, because you're playing a specific character in this one, aren't you? Um,
It
it's
looks
not
like it. You're
it's not
playing.
management style, which is what I really
Yeah,
don't like about town builders.
yeah. Um,
So we'll see.
yeah. Yeah, we will see. I'm excited. Yeah, I like rodents and rodent based games.
Next, we have Grimoire Groves. They've announced that they're releasing on the 4th of March. I think they had a new
Okay.
trailer as well.
Now, hold on, let me see. I have to open. I have to double check. I have a lot of links
This
open.
this
I
is this
forget
is
which ones
a
it's.
this is a witch based one. On the list. It's a roguelike dungeon crawler.
Oh man, words, Giannis.
Sorry, cozy roguelike dungeon crawler with witches.
There we go. That's
Join
what
the,
we needed.
I've been watching this one for ages. I don't think I realized it was roguelike until
I didn't either. Um.
now we know.
Oh, it's okay. Look, I'm looking. I'm rewatching the trailer. This okay. Yeah, this is a very much more cozy, pretty Cult of the Lamb. That's what it really looks like. Um.
I like how the
Yeah.
game looks. Like
Yeah. The
graphics
art style is
wise,
very
really
fun. It's
nice.
very colorful, psychedelic look. Like it gets out there. It's funky. Um. I some of the gameplay stuff looks interesting. You're casting a lot of. It's not like Off the Lamb was sword
Yeah.
weapon gameplay or whatever. you're casting a lot of stuff here. Wow, even some of those icons for speaking of characters, there's like Cult of the Lamb. Um, I'm it,
Well,
I'm
that's a good point.
my interest has been piqued.
Is it roguelite like Cult of the Lamb is roguelite, where you have your like area that you build up and you go out on
It sure
runs to
looks like it
get
because
stuff? That's a good
farming.
point.
You're
Yeah.
growing plants. That's advertised clearly in the trailer.
Oh no. Is this
Um,
actually going to be the second roguelite I actually like? Because it does the thing that I
maybe
like.
it looks like it has a lot going for it. I'll say that.
It doesn't make it clear in the description exactly what the roguelite bit is.
Yeah.
So
But hey,
I'm gonna have to buy this game now, haven't I? Boo.
oh gosh, yes.
And then people can mock me for buying another roguelite.
There will be a updated demo on February 17th if you want to try it out before you buy.
Maybe. That is what I probably should do. That is not what I tend to do.
Probably. It's a good idea. I'm not going to do it.
Uh, Speaking of games that I buy for some reason, Sugar Dew Island have announced that they're releasing on the 7th of March. But the game is out now already for Kickstarter backers. So if you backed it like me, you should have your key by now. Also, the physical version is coming out on the 14th of March.
I've got to say, I am impressed that a game has made it this far just by flying too close to the sun and copying Stardew, changing the name up a little.
I hate myself every time I say the name.
Like I'll be like I'm not even gonna judge the gameplay because I'm not even I haven't looked at it closely enough, but this thing is going by its name alone, like 90%. Let's be quite honest.
Yeah. I'm obviously going to talk about the game more in the future, not in this episode. It's not top tier farming game. Let's put it that way.
Sure.
It's
Sure.
not the absolute worst farming game I played, though.
Sure. You know what? You're right. The bar is high or very low, depending on the direction.
It has gone straight through the middle of that as meh.
Okay. You know, is that better or worse for it? I don't know, but
Yeah, I'm gonna have a lot to say in the next episode probably. Um, but yeah, that's my initial thoughts. Is it is okay.
there you go.
They have
Put that on
already,
the
to be
box.
fair to them, they have already fixed multiple issues I had with the game. So that is something.
All right. Well, you know, that is like good just across the board when a developer cares about their supporting and whatnot. So I will say that good on them for that bit.
Okay, so next we have this is did you look at these links before the podcast? Just before we talk about this?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so just for the listeners, I'm going to try and explain what we're looking at here. This is so the game is The Ranchers. We've talked about it before. It's a farming game. It's an open world farming game. What's interesting is they've introduced police. And
oh, sick.
I think I can describe this as it basically seems like they're turning this game into Grand Theft Farm.
Yep, I was about to say, like, the game is called The Ranchers, but nothing on the Steam page is a ranch.
There's cows. What are you talking about?
Wait, did I miss them?
So this
oh
is
yeah, on the cover I see it.
Yeah,
You're right. There's the image.
So they're calling this the Ranchers Police District Update. Now, don't be confused. This is not like a game update. This is just like an information update. They're describing this feature that's going to be in the game because this game isn't out yet. It's not in early access. They say, I'm excited to introduce our newest feature, the Ranchers Police District, which, by the way, just as a startup, this is what we all want: is more police. Secondly, they say From the start, the Ranchers has given you tons of freedom to play the game your way. You can stick to the rules and enjoy a calm, relaxed experience, or you can mix things up, maybe even try something a little daring, like swiping NPCs' crops, cars, cows, or chickens, vandalizing public property, or even shaking up national security for a little bit of mischief. Ultimately, it's your call, and you probably have your own reasons for how you play. Before, if you got caught, the game would hit you with a fine to teach you a lesson. Harsh and not very fun, especially in an open world farming sim where freedom is key. Now, things feel a bit more like real life. Your actions have consequences. Each misdeed you commit will trigger a reaction from the rancher's police, giving you the freedom to deal with it your way. You can pay up, surrender, or even push things further at your own risk and potential reward.
Wow.
So you can get arrested in this game, basically.
Yeah.
Part of me is like, I hate it.
Yeah.
And part of me is like, I actually kind of like it because this is trying to do something different with farming games, which is such a rare thing nowadays, right?
Yeah, that is true.
What I also find really interesting is the comments on the Kickstarter. Can you see the Kickstarter? I don't know if that's backers only. Oh no, I'm not a
Let's
backer.
see.
I'm not a backer, am I? Oh no, I did back it.
You backed this? Oh, sick!
I don't even remember backing this game. Oh man, I'm not to be trusted with Kickstarter. I don't think this is a backers only update, but anyway, the comments are really not positive on this. One is like, "Are you sure you aren't just trolling everyone with this? April 1st is quite some time away. I definitely did not want GTA.
Yeah.
I was all for this game until this update. If I wanted police in the game I'm playing, I wouldn't play a cozy farming sim." I agree, but also I don't agree. I'm not really sure. On Steam, there are 26 comments, but there's 126 thumbs up. So I don't think it's clear cut. People hate this. I think it's like there's a lot of thoughts on this.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure.
You're sure what?
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of comments. Like, it's so crazy.
Yeah.
Like, something we didn't even mention is like on the Steam page, the image next to the title, like it's supposed we're talking cozy or whatever, but like that looks like an 80s action hero movie poster guy.
Yeah, it really does.
It's
It doesn't look like
wild.
he definitely doesn't look like a rancher, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man. This is incredible because oh, like you said, it's Grand Theft Farming. It really looks like that because nothing here looks like your typical cozy stuff. Um I and it's new ideas, stuff that we don't see normally or and so on and so forth or whatever. But it's just I guess it's just the context, like this isn't what you'd expect. Um
This is the thing, it's a balance, right? You will either love this because it's doing something different, or you'll hate it because it's not a cozy feature. But
yeah.
I kind of love that you can like just steal crops from the other townspeople like that. I kind of like that. Like I don't think I'd want that in Stardew, but like how many times have you gone, you'd seen someone with crops outside their house and gone, oh, I wish I could just get them.
Yeah, that is kind of fun. You're right. You're right. I like this concept too.
I don't know whether this will
Um,
make it a fun game or not, but
I don't
I am
either.
all in on seeing. Let's see, why
They've
not? What's
they've
the worst
caught
that
our
happens?
attention.
Yeah, for
They've caught
sure.
our attention.
For sure.
I'll say that. It's yeah. I don't. I'm excited to see more of this.
We will keep an eye on it, and I mean, I feel like I'll definitely be playing this game, right?
Yo, oh, I'm.
All right,
I
and
feel
our
like we have
final piece of
cops and
news.
robbers.
Our final piece of news is My Time at Sandrock have released a set of chibi figurines. That's it. That's the news.
Yeah, they're fine. The figures are cute. I'll say that. I'll give them that.
I don't care about the characters, so it's not like I'm going to buy them. But yeah,
Oh yeah, I don't either. Just say they're cute
yeah,
quality. I don't know what these people are or anything. I
yeah.
have no investment.
I would buy these if these were Stardew characters. Let's put it that way.
Oh, I'm shocked that Concerned Ape has never done that. Like, I feel
Doesn't need to.
there's a gold mine to be made.
Like it's a lot of effort to put into these things, right? And he made enough
Yeah.
money with the game that he doesn't need to.
Yeah, I guess that's it. I guess that's it. But
Whereas with
you
like
know,
the concert, I feel like is something that he really wanted to do.
oh yeah, clearly. Yeah.
He made a
That
joke
is one
in
thing. Concerned Ape, everything he does it because he cares.
in the pamphlet for I can't remember what it's called, like the leaflet thing that you get at the concert. It says
The program?
the program, yeah. He made a joke in it that he used to be I can't remember the exact wording, but basically he used to be a musician. That was his thing. But he couldn't get anyone to buy his music, and all he needed to do was make a very successful game for people to like his music.
That's what it was all about. That was the long con. I love
That was
that.
it.
What a Giga Chad move. I'm gonna make a successful video game. I go like genre defining game. Um, just so people can buy my music.
There you go. All right, that's the news. We are now gonna go into our second harvest of Hello Kitty Island Adventure. So, just for context, I played this for a couple weeks when it first came out on iOS and iPad OS. Apple Arcade, that's where it was. It came out in Apple Arcade. Um, Played that on my iPad because I don't have an iPhone. Uh, and I thought it was a really fun game, but I really hated using the touchscreen controls for it. So was really excited to play it not on a touchscreen. You obviously did not play it when it came out in Apple Arcade,
I've never owned an Apple device in my life.
but you were excited to play it.
Very
Uh,
much so, because it looks wild. And guess what? It is wild.
I bought it on Steam, been playing it on my Steam Deck. You bought it on Switch, and you've been playing it on your Switch.
Yep, that's correct.
I guess, do we even need to do a quick intro to this game? I feel like we don't, because I feel like people know what this game is because it's been
Well,
so in the news everywhere, right?
you're right. It's okay. So, well,
How would
first of
you
all, it's been
describe
a
it then
minute
after
since.
having played it a little?
Yeah, I will because I think it has been in the news, but it's also been a minute since the original episode with Maddie.
You know the
So
number of people
I'll
I've
look.
seen who make it who clearly don't know that this was released before. They're like, "Oh, there's a new
Yeah,
game," and it's like, "Well, it's just
yeah, about that.
right." Go for it then.
Yeah,
Describe it because obviously I was on the previous episode. You were not. So tell
right.
me how you would describe this game, having now played it for a bit.
Okay. So, like, I think the biggest or easiest comparison point is Animal Crossing New Horizons
What?
because shocker, I know. Because guess what? You've got crafting, you've got a house with furniture, you've got clothing, you got neighbors and villagers that you can gift things to. Shocker. But it's all Sanrio. So you got Hello Kitty and all the characters and whatnot, right? Um Now, but that said, it is a bit more dynamic than Animal Crossing because you are climbing mountains, you're diving into the ocean,
Mhm.
you're the there's little mini games and ruins to explore. So you've got this open world island to explore while collecting stuff and catching critters and all this stuff. Um, so yeah, so take one part Animal Crossing, one part Sanrio, and one part maybe Breath of the Wild because they had the stamina
So
wheel.
this is the thing. Like I jokingly said Breath of the Wild to people on Slack, but
Yeah.
the more I think about it, the more I actually don't think that's a joke. So like, yeah, it's obviously not as big and as expansive and whatever,
Right.
but like the exploring
There's no combat.
feels well, yeah, the exploring feels so good. And let me tell you, it feels so much better being able to play it with a controller than using the touchscreen. But like
I
that
can't imagine.
that has not changed since the first time I've done it. Just the idea of being able to go like, oh, there's a hill, there's a volcano there. Let me climb that volcano, and you can just figure out how to do it, even though you
Yeah.
know you're not really meant to be going there yet, right? Like you've not
Yeah,
progressed the story to that point, but you can just
but I
make it
wanted
work.
to. Ritsuko was up there. I really wanted to climb that volcano.
And you can, and this is the thing, it's designed in such a way that like you have a stamina bar, and like you can't just climb straight up forever, but there are like little ledges, and there's
Yeah,
like
but
other
if
things
you
you can
look,
climb up on, and you can rest,
yep,
and you can get anywhere you want to if you really want to.
yep, pretty much, right? Like sometimes it's real hard. Like sometimes it's challenging, but if you try, if you really scrape and look for it, you can find a way. Um,
You know the meme,
yeah,
this is why I don't do X anymore, there's too many sweats. I feel like
yeah.
that, but with this, right? This is why I don't play Hello Kitty anymore. There are too many sweats.
Okay. So, and okay, and so of course the game, like it begins with as you've lauded so many times, Alan, rightfully so. It begins with jumping out of a plane. Um,
And a
everyone
snake's on a plane reference.
a snakes on a plane reference. There. Okay, so I remember you describing that. You've told me that before. And I thought that was wild. But then when I played it, the crazy part to me is there was no actual reason to jump from. There was I've been shooting out a lot of cake, and I don't.
He just gets
While
fed up and
inconvenient,
says,
I don't
I'm
think.
fed up of these cakes on this plane, and then just jumps out the plane.
And everyone's like, "All right, we're going. Let's
Yeah,
do it.
yeah.
We're
That's
following
the
suit."
weirdest bit is they're like, okay, fine. Bet, let's do this.
Uh, oh my gosh. Oh, so yeah, that's our premise.
I
I
just
I
like
like that
you go
little
up to
intro.
you go up to Hello Kitty and she's like, "Oh, here are some balloons. Trust me." And you're like, Do I trust you with balloons?"
Well, it worked.
Well, yeah,
Also,
that's
you
true.
get a diving, like air skydiving mini game, which go through the rings. I don't even know if they get you anything, but
I don't
or
know.
if you ever do that again.
I don't know if you do ever do that again. Obviously, you use the balloons again, right? Like you can jump
Yeah,
off
sure.
things and use the balloons, but I don't think that mini games type thing is ever in the game again. I don't know. I mean, I've not finished it, so maybe there is a time, but yeah, it's really weird.
And you go through rings, but I don't remember getting anything for going through the ring.
You get satisfaction of having gone through the rings.
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty much it. You know what? That's fine. Okay, so uh, first, okay, well, actually, even before you jump off the plane, you design your character. And I love the freedom in that because you can be, because we're talking Sanrio, right? So we've got all the different critters and animals, and you can be pretty much any one you want. I think the options for customizing is pretty fun. What was your little avatar? Oh,
Yeah, I'm a dog.
a dog.
But yeah, I like it. They've got like I think it's like 8 different animals, and then within the animals,
Yeah,
they've got different face shapes,
styles,
and they're like
breeds, or
dramatically
whatever.
different styles
Yeah.
of them. And then yeah, you can like change your bunch of other stuff
Yeah,
about
like you
yourself.
can be a bird and the birds you can be a penguin or like a falcon or blue jay or whatever. Mine looks like a blue jay basically. I got a color pen that looks like a blue jay in the shape of that.
I chose the fattest dog that existed in the list.
Yeah.
I couldn't really describe what type of dog it looked like, but yeah, it was just the chubbiest, comfiest looking
Yeah.
dog.
Yeah, the wall looked like a brickhouse.
Yeah.
Um good, yeah, like that's a good one. Um and you know what? I think I should before I continue I should declare I don't know Sanrio very well, to be quite frank.
Me
I know
neither.
Hello Kitty
Yep.
because one of the most iconic characters ever created, right? Dominates Japan. Um, but I don't know the rest of the cast that well. So
Yeah.
this is my first venture into the Sanrio verse. I knew Agretsuko because her anime was pretty popular. I didn't watch it, but I knew the character. And I love how she's treated as the kind of the outsider. How everyone else is friends, but she doesn't know anyone. That was kind of cute. Um, but yeah, it's been fun to meet all these characters. This Palm Purin is the best. I'm a big fan of Palm Purin. The Carapace's pretty cute. He's pretty fun. But it's Meru. He's the one who was tired of the cakes and jumped off the plane. So there
Yeah.
you go. I think that sums him.
And a big comic guy.
But what?
A big comic guy as well.
Oh yeah, he's a big comic
So
guy. Both like he likes jokes and the actual comics.
yep.
So yeah. So we've got all that. Um, so I've played the game for about a week, not even a full week. I got it on Monday, I think it was.
Something like that.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
I think Monday. Yeah,
Uh,
it was Monday.
so it like I mean I really enjoyed the game because, but also I feel like there's still so much for me to do. Um, because the game is quest driven, right? Like you're going around, you have to complete quests for people, gathering things, crafting things, so on and so finding things. Um, and that's kind of what progresses not just the quote unquote story, but all the features, right? Like it's not like Animal Crossing where you just wait for the shovel to show up in Tom Nook's store to buy it. You have to complete a quest to unlock a fishing rod, the net, whatever.
Oh, and quests
Um,
is the game. Like this, if you don't like quests, if you don't like fetch quests, this is not the game for you. Like everything is a
yeah,
quest, but that means
yep.
that I'm sure I talked about this last time, but I need to bring it up again. The quest system in this is so good. Like as someone who loves quests and loves lists of quests, it's absolutely good. Not only does it show you every quest that you've ever done and every quest that you currently have that you can do, it also shows you future quests and what you need to do to get them.
Yep, that
It's
is pretty solid.
great because everything is based on like friendship levels and gifting things to the other villagers, blah
Yep.
blah blah. And so it's like, oh, to get this quest, you need to talk to this person, or you need to get this person to friendship level 4. And there's just like it's
Mhm.
so good, and it can be a little bit overwhelming, especially at the beginning when you go from like one or two things to do to suddenly you have a list of 10 things. But you can pick and choose, and you don't need to go quickly.
Yeah, yeah. I I think it's almost a double-edged sword a little bit because like you said, can get a little overwhelming or it can feel a little aimless at times, right? Like so
Yeah.
just today, this morning on the day of recording, I unlocked the snorkel finally,
Mm.
which unlocked a lot of stuff for me. Um and but to get to the snorkel, I think you have to raise your friendship with Hiromi a certain amount of time. And I'm trying to do that, but it's kind of limiting because you can only do 3 gifts a day, and I can't make gifts that she really likes right now. I give her like basic stuff and so on and so forth. Um, so I was kind of meandering the last day or two because I was trying to get that snorkel because I knew there was a lot to unlock with that. And there's still some stuff like there's these big rocks I need to learn how to break. I don't 100% know how to do it. Um, but so it is kind of uh, it can be a little just not even really frustrating. I mean, just a little. It feels a little. I get a little frustrated. I'll say that, right? Like I feel a little frustrated when I am not 100% sure where to go. Like you said, the
Yeah.
the quest system is good. Like it lists everything, but like I said, I met Ritsuko, but I don't 100% have the clear idea on how to keep doing things with her. So, and granted, the game doesn't completely leave behind dry because at the end of the day, if you keep raising friendship with everyone, you will get somewhere eventually. Like
Yeah.
that's a big part of the game, right? But so I'm not, I don't have. It's not like I don't have things to do. In fact, there's a lot of things to do. um, but a little, and this might just be a personal preference. Like a little more direction would have been nice. But maybe that's just because I'm so used to Animal Crossing. Like I know the tropes it's established so well in the system so well. Like it's not even I do without even thinking now that something new and different like this just takes a little more effort. Um, but again, those complaints really are minor. I'm still enjoying the game overall. The presentation is strong. The visuals are fine. There I know there was a lot of uh discussion on the frame rate, especially on the Switch because it's on the Switch.
Yeah, so tell me about
Um,
that because obviously I'm on the Steam Deck and it runs fine. I've not noticed any issues on the Steam Deck. And
yeah.
when I was running it on my iPad, it was like it's an iPad Pro, right? So it's not going to have any issues running with frame rate. So yeah,
Yeah.
how is that on the Switch?
Okay. So I've played primarily portable, not dock. I've played dock a handful of times. Um, I think I think it runs fine. Let's say that. It's on par for a Switch game, right? Like if I looked at the Steam version or the Apple version or whatever, like I'm sure those would look better. But just looking at the Switch get one in a vacuum, it's fine. Like I
Right.
think I
So
saw it
it's not
stutter
like
like
Scarlet and Violet.
right, right. I saw it stutter like once, maybe twice, and just for like a split second, right? Like it might not be the highest end. I don't know what FPS I'm looking at here. Right. It's not 60 FPS or whatever, but it's fine, especially in we all know that when you play Switch handheld, like the performance takes even more of a hit. Um,
Yeah.
and again, like I think that's common across the board for the Switch. But it so it doesn't bother me, but I'm sure the other versions are prettier. Like I won't deny that. Like I'll say it's what I expect. Let me say that. Right. If you know what the Switch game looks like or plays like, I think that's what you can expect. Um,
Fair enough.
but the controls are good. I don't know how. I don't know if you guys play this touchscreen only. That if
That was
I
my main complaint when I was talking about it before, you know.
and rightfully so, because there's a lot, right? You have tools and a tool wheel. You have the actual running around. You have climbing. You have floating with balloons, diving. There's a lot of controls you can do in this game.
Yeah, I will say it worked
Um,
reasonably well. They had like on-screen buttons for everything you needed to do. Um, I just much prefer it with a controller. It's not like I couldn't do anything. It all worked.
mhm.
It just felt I think the main problem was I was playing on an iPad, right? So I wasn't like holding it in my hand. It would probably
Yeah,
have been better had I been playing it on an iPhone.
maybe I could see that. You know what? That is one complaint I have about the game. Like I can tell it was a mobile iPad game or whatever because the UI was not particularly cleaned up for the release. You still have big old icons showing like, press X to give them a gift or A to talk to them or whatever. They're very clearly meant to be like on a touch screen. That's where you'd tap to do the thing. It would have been nice if they'd clean that up and get a little more screen space back. Um,
I wonder if that's
but
a
I guess
Switch
what am
issue
I
because
gonna
I
do?
hadn't noticed any kind of things that felt out of place. It all felt pretty good from my point of view, but that might be a Switch versus Steam thing. I'm not sure.
And I'd have to go back and check. Like, I wonder if it's better if it's docked because obviously you have,
Bigger
the
screen.
right, the screen
Yeah.
ratio is a little different too there, right? But on the small portable handheld originals, I'm playing on original
You're
Switch, not
playing
even
originally.
an
Okay.
OLED,
Yeah.
right? Like it feels like some of those pumps are taking up a lot of the screen space.
Yeah.
Um, Not like it doesn't hamper the game, but like I think they could have put a little more effort in cleaning it up. Um,
Yeah. That's fair.
yeah. Um, but uh, but yeah. I want to spend more time because I feel like I'm still scratching the surface. Like there's still all the Animal Crossing-esque house and clothing stuff. Like I've barely scratched that stuff. I've been so focused on quests and missions and trying to unlock my tools.
Yeah.
Like I think I put like a chair in my house and that's it. Um,
I mean the game's been out for like, you know, a week and a half, right? Like I think it's fair to be like there's more to investigate on this game. You know,
yeah.
it'd be like a week and a half after Stardew trying to talk about that. Or, you know, and
I think there
it's
could be
even
more things for
worse.
me to do in this game.
Well, that's the thing, and it's even worse when it's a game like this, like or like Animal Crossing, because like you just there's infinite amount of stuff to do and so focused because it's real time based. There's so little you can do in a day. It's one of these games where it's designed to be played over months, a little bit a day, and
Yeah.
you can't get everything you want to do in a couple of weeks, right? That's just not possible.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, you're right. And I think like I'm feeling that more because there's still a lot of progression focus on it, right? Like I think much more so than Animal Crossing, right? When you played New
Yeah.
Horizons, like was it first week or two? Like it clearly lays out like it puts you on rails on how much you can accomplish per day and whatnot and so forth. But here, like I'm seeing my quest list.
Hey, you hit credits in Animal Crossing in a week, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
But that's more down to
But
it being a weird point
yeah,
where they have the credits.
yeah. Um, but here, like I see my quest list. I see there's things I can do in the future. I want to do them, but I can't. My
That's
friendship
fair.
with
That's a fair point because I put that as a positive, but I can see how you might put that as a negative if that's something that frustrates you, being able to see something that you physically can't do because you can't get to friendship level 4 yet. Yeah,
yeah, right.
that's
And
fair.
like and so, some of them show you like, okay, you need also to unlock this quest. And well, I don't even have that quest yet. I don't see how to
Yeah.
unlock that quest yet. Um, right? Or like there's like I said, Ritsuko, I'm gravitating. She's one of my favorites because she's one of the few characters I really knew. Um, I have to do her quest when I friendship level 7. That's the first one I can do with her. That's kind of a lot, especially at the beginning when I don't have gifts that really give her that much stuff
Yeah.
or friendship level or whatever, right? So I'm working on it, and maybe there's other ways I can find stuff because, like, there's clearly there's different crafting stations and cooking stations on the island, so maybe I'll find something. But getting to level 7 is gonna take a few days to get there.
Yeah. Here's a question for you specifically.
Yeah,
You were not a huge fan with how villagers were in Animal Crossing. They felt much more hollow to you. Is that
right.
fair description of that?
Yeah, yeah,
How do you feel the villagers in this compare? Because they are, to me, they feel very different.
right. So okay, so actually, this is one thing I wanted to talk about because there's this whole I barely touched it. There's this whole villager system, and so you have the main cast, what I would call the main cast, right? You have the people on the plane. Those are your primary characters who will be running shops and have significant roles, and you're talking to them frequently on the island, right?
Yeah.
But a day or two in or whatever, you unlock the ability to set up houses to have other characters visit, right? Like the first one is Dear Daniel, Hello Kitty's boyfriend. He can show up once you set up the cabin in a certain way. You have to put a couple pieces of furniture and a pie in there or something like that, right? Um, and so um, I did that quest and I have Dear Daniel, but I have not interacted with him that much. And it's not anything against Dear Daniel or the system. It's just I've been so occupied with the other stuff. I have not set up more cabins, right? So obviously the main cast has a lot of personality, right? The shopkeepers and the main characters that you're speaking to.
Mhm.
I'm enjoying spending my time with all of them. They all have very distinct personalities, and I enjoy giving them gifts and so on, doing things, running around with them. If you raise up friendship high enough, you can have them join you and follow you around and stuff. Um, Overall, I'm liking it so far.
That's a
Sanrio has a
good
lot of
point.
characters.
Is that something we've not
There's
really talked about as well? The joint quests, right? So you
uh-huh.
can have someone you can either, I think you can do it just like with anything, be like, oh hey, come with me and do this thing. You can just spend time with them. But I think there are some quests as well where they're like they will say, oh, we need to go do this thing, let's do it together.
Oh, oh.
Well, you
Well,
you have
actually, no, I
you
did do
have
one. I was thinking
yeah, you
I
have
went through the
experienced that.
haunted house.
There's also there's one quite early on when you're getting the cogs to get
The
to the,
cogs.
you know, you go
Oh
from
yes,
the,
the crystal. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The little crystal stone
yeah,
things. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
yeah.
remember that now. Yeah,
So I
yeah,
think
yeah.
that's the first one you do. And then
Mm-hmm.
there's more later on. But yeah, so those are quite fun as well, I guess, because it's like you're doing something together, um,
Yes.
rather than just existing in the same world.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Exactly. Yes. Yeah, that's a very good point. That does help a lot, right? I'm So like obviously like overall the villagers that I have been interacting with, it is a much more satisfying experience than say New Horizons. Um, I don't know about the other ones like Dear Daniel because I haven't spent enough time on that. Um, I will say it is a clever and fun idea that you have to set up the cabins just to invite people in certain ways.
Mhm.
Kind of like Happy Home Designer-esque thing, which I think is a fun idea. Um,
It does tend to be quite simplistic, though. It's like,
it
oh, I,
does.
I want 3 pieces of furniture is the first one. And you're like, okay,
Yeah.
okay, right. Wow. Calm down.
Yeah.
I'll give you three pieces of furniture. They don't tend to be very complicated ones, but I mean, maybe
Okay, I
that's
didn't know
deliberate.
if
I
that
don't know.
was I didn't know if that was just because Dear Daniel's the first one or if all the other ones are going to be like that.
They're
I
slightly more complicated, but they're not like it's like maybe they need to fit a theme, or maybe it's like
mm,
specific pieces of furniture, but they're never like
okay.
really complicated ones. It'll be like
Okay.
I want 3 pink pieces of furniture, is or
Sure.
I want a table and a bed and a desk, right? Like those
Hmm.
might be the most complicated they get,
Okay. And
in my experience.
I can understand that kind of because I don't think you want it to get too complicated because you're trying to, fill up your island.
Yeah.
But also I think it's part of the nature because the offerings of the furniture and clothing are kind of simple in this game from what I've seen so far.
Mhm.
Um, because in Animal Crossing, you get some pretty exotic or out there themes of furniture and stuff like that, right? Like I have not seen a rocket ship, let's just say, right? I have not seen a rocket
Mhm.
ship that I can find and put one in my house in Hello Kitty Island Adventure. Um, so I there's not as much room to play, probably. I think that's going to be a big part of it.
Yeah,
But
that's fair.
again, I'm saying all this just one week in. I could be dead wrong. There could be way to unlock more stuff or something. Um, but uh, but at the end of the day, even if it is kind of simplistic, this is just one aspect of the game, right? Like I'm still enjoying running around and finding things and doing these quests and whatnot. Um, yeah, so we'll see. As I play, because I intend to play further because I'm curious alone, just the curiosity alone about how all the systems work because I don't think I fully understand them yet. Um, I'm, I, we'll see how my opinions play out, but I mean, overall, like the 1 week impression is pretty strong.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of personality. The mechanics are pretty solid overall. Like I'm struggling to think. Um,
I think
you even have the map jump point system, little mailboxes. That's kind of
oh, I
nice.
love it.
I
I
guess
love it.
if you could, yeah, if you could craft anywhere, that would be nice. Um,
Yes, that's probably one of the bigger limitations is you've just got
yeah,
is it just the one crafting table or do you unlock any more? I can't
I
remember.
I think I unlocked other recipes for other crafting tables, but I don't see how to build them. Question mark.
I don't
So
know. Yeah.
I don't know. And also, I'm I I'm shaming myself here. I'm opening up myself to fire. I didn't see the mailbox near the crafting table until today or yesterday. So it was a huge pain for me because I had to walk from like the second closest
Oh
mailbox, which wasn't
no.
super far away, but oh my gosh,
Yeah.
doing it over and over, it was getting to me. I had to look it up. I was like, is there a mailbox closer to this table? And it's like, oh,
And you're like, yeah,
two
there's
steps to the
literally one
right.
across the path from
Yep,
it.
I didn't look across the path there. Oh, if I looked on the other side of there.
I think part of the problem is that you get quite far into the game before you actually unlock the mailboxes because you explore all of the main plaza and then you unlock the gate using the cogs to get to the haunted area and you get in there and you spend a little bit of time in there and then you unlock them. So there's already like 5 mailboxes you've gone past by that point, and
Yeah,
you have to remember to go back to them. That's the problem. Whereas if you probably would have noticed it the first time you walked past it because it was right
yeah,
there next to the gate, but
yeah.
you hadn't unlocked them by that point, so you were ignoring them.
You know what? That's an excellent point. That is probably exactly what happened because if you approach them, you're like, "Oh, what? I wonder what this mailbox does. Somebody knows how to use it, I'm sure, something like that." So you're
Yeah.
right. Like, no, I tend to just ignore them at the beginning. So I probably literally did that.
Whereas I obviously knew where they were because I'd played the game before, and I was like, oh, I can't remember when these unlock. There's another one. Let me try it. Oh yeah, no, they're not unlocked yet. So like I was going back to them as soon as I unlocked to get them all because I knew going in what they were going to be. Whereas if you've not experienced that, you don't know what they're for. You're not going to be like, okay, I need to remember because I want to know where these things are, right? Because you wouldn't assume that a mailbox is fast travel, would you?
Yeah, no, I would assume it was for mailing things,
Exactly.
which,
Exactly. Well, it is for
you're
mailing
doing
things. It's
it.
for mailing yourself.
Yep. Yeah, well, that's the little twist I didn't expect.
So yeah, I think it's totally fair to have missed that one. It's really easy to do that.
Um, but yeah, whoa, you know what? One other thing, and it's like I don't know if there was any way to really fix this, but one thing, they just don't do holidays like they do 1 day holidays like they do in Animal Crossing. They do full on events, like a couple of days of Lunar New Year, and right now the Valentine's Day event was starting or whatever, right? And so starting the game like right in the middle of the Lunar New Year celebration
Oh man.
was a little awkward, missing some of that.
Yeah.
Like, 'cause
It also
I
is
don't know if you
suddenly
could.
like, here's a whole bunch of stuff for you.
Yup, yup.
The other thing on that note, what I found really funny was the first time you open the game, it's like, do not time travel like in other
I love
games.
that. Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know what other games you're talking about. People playing on the Switch. It was so like in your face, like, do not do this. And you're like,
I
whoa,
love,
okay, calm down.
and it's in a very sassy tone. Like,
Yeah.
we know some
Yeah.
other
Oh, yeah.
games might let you time travel, but if you do that here, we will bang you for life from multiplayer.
Yeah. It is quite a little bit
Oh,
over the top, but fair enough. I
yeah.
understand why they would want to nip that in the bud.
Um, good stuff. Yeah, that was pretty funny. I haven't tried the multiplayer at all. I wonder, like, curious, are there games or something you can do that together? I don't know.
I, I
Or is it just
don't
like Animal Crossing?
I don't know. I do know that you go to the other person's island. I'm pretty sure, like in Animal Crossing, and you can do a bunch of stuff. There are a few things they've had to limit that you can do, because otherwise you can like get access to things that you shouldn't be able to based on your quests yet. So there's a few things you're not allowed to do, based on that. But yeah, it's kind of similar to how the Animal Crossing one works.
Yeah, sure, and that's fair. Show off your little town and your house and all that stuff. I'm looking forward to getting, to really to be able to decorate my house a little more. Like I said, I've been distracted by the quest, but also like I haven't seen that much stuff that like, oh, I got to put that in my house. But we'll see.
All right. Any other thoughts before we wrap this up?
Um, uh, oh, you know what? Yes, there is one thing. So part of the quest is that you can also activate a little guide light orb thing that tells you, okay, follow me, and I'll take you where to go for the next part of your quest, right?
Mhm.
Um, some quests don't have that, where you have to basically find something or whatever. And I can get that, but sometimes, like, I don't know where Top Hat Gudetama is. I have to find him somewhere. Um, I'd like to find him. It's also funny that Gudetama's just hanging out all over the island.
I
Just take your
love the
pictures with
Gudetama. I
Gudetama.
just the Gudetama. It was the perfect way to do him in the game, right? Because you can't not have Gudetama, but also you can't really have him
Yeah,
as a character that you interact with. And I just
yeah,
love the fact that he's just lounging around in
yeah.
different poses, wearing different
It's
clothes.
good.
It's such a perfect way of doing Gudetama.
It is so good.
It's
It's
so
good stuff.
Gudetama.
Good on you. That's good.
Oh dear.
Um,
Episode title.
yeah, there you go.
I need to check that. I haven't
But
made that joke already for the last episode that we did.
probably not. You probably talked about how you jump off the plane.
I don't know. I make a lot of the same jokes. The number of times I make a joke and Runner was like, "Yeah, you'd done that one already," and I'm like, "Oh no, oops."
But yeah, that's the only other thing I have to say. I, I might update later on and when I play more and come back on, and maybe I can have some more thoughts. But overall, like it's a good thumbs up for me. Oh, you know what? There is one other thing, an important thing I think we have to discuss, and that is the price. Um,
Yep,
so Apple Arcade is a subscription, correct? And you just
correct.
get games with it,
$10 a month,
which
I think,
means okay, and so you would get Hello Kitty Island Adventure for the $10 a month. Is that correct?
for as long as you are subscribing. Yeah,
Right. Okay. So theoretically you could just play it for $10 a month, right?
yep,
And so now it is out. It is a $40 game, if I recall correctly,
yeah.
USD.
It was £35. So yeah, that's I think that makes
Yeah.
sense with
Yeah,
forty
not
dollars.
full price, not the cheapest. And so the question, a lot of people seem to have some issue with that because it was somewhat relatively cheaper before. I mean,
I
it wasn't $10 just for Hello Kitty, right? You were also
Well,
getting
yeah,
a
but
whole bunch
it's
of
ten
other
dollars,
things.
$10 a month, right? Like if you
Yeah,
because
that
the
is
way
true.
this game is meant to be played is slowly over the course of months. So you only have to play it for 4 months, and then suddenly you are paying
Yeah.
more than you would pay for the game normally. I think it's totally fine. Like I
Yeah.
wasn't expecting any cheaper than this. It's not like we're talking a random indie game that can sell for 10
Yeah.
quid, you know?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Like I saw some discourse before I got the game. Um, and so I was curious because, I was wondering, was this going to feel like a very mobile game, for lack of a better way of putting it, right? It does not. It feels like a full outright, console size game.
Yeah.
So I don't think the price is an issue. I just want to point that out there because, like I said, I saw some people discussing that. But I think it's absolutely worth the price. Because I'm having fun
Yeah.
with it. I've already spent a full week on it, which is what, like $8 a day, I guess, if you want to break it down like that. But I can feel I'm gonna get my money's worth absolutely from this game. Um,
Yeah,
Good
I
stuff.
definitely felt, I'm sure I said this in the last episode, that I was 100% expecting it to come to at least Switch. Like it felt like it was well designed for mobile interface, but it didn't feel like it was a mobile game. It felt like it was a game with a nice mobile interface that they could easily change to be controller based as well.
Yeah, yeah, I can see that. Um, yeah, yeah, clearly. Yeah, I can see that clearly. Um, okay, but yeah, that's good stuff. All right, but you know what? This is how we're gonna end this, Al.
Oh
Uh,
dear.
because like I mentioned, I
I'm always worried when you have plans like this.
this is my first real foray into the Sanrio verse, right? So
Okay.
I got to judge and assess these characters. But one question I had, burning question I had was, how well did the Yu-Gi-Oh! Sanrio crossovers work? I'm sending you the image right now on Slack,
Oh,
so
for
let me
goodness
judge
sake,
them.
what is happening? Oh yeah. Okay. Yep. Yep. Yep.
So we got Hello Kitty as the Dark Magician, which makes sense because they're the cover, the poster children for their franchises, right? We've got okay, we've got My Melody as Dark Magician Girl. My Melody is a very cutesy pink girl, so that makes a lot of sense. Okay, Cinema Roll cross Blue Eyes White Dragon. That one's incredible. That's hilarious because the Blue Eyes White Dragon's this big scary monster, and then you have Cinema Roll, who's just the sweetest little post person thing ever. Um, Karapi as Karibo, that works because he's a cute little guy. He's chill. Karibo's just a little dude. Um, let's see, Pochaco as the Time Wizard. Okay, I don't know because Pochaco he's a jock, right? He's all about jogging all over the island. He likes his tofu, and now he's a time wizard. Um, Pompurin as Exodia, the Forbidden One. That one's incredible because Pompurin's the chillest dude ever, and Exodia is, that's Exodia. You win the game, so that's just hilarious because they're so far apart. Um, Batsmaru as Red Eyes Black Dragon. I can see that work. He's kind of, he likes his comics, right? So I can see them dressing up like a big scary dragon. Tuxedo Sam is Obelisk the Tormentor. That one's ridiculous because Tuxedo Sam, he's so he's so polite and he just wants to make his little bow ties. But he became Obelisk the Tormentor, one of the Egyptian gods of destruction or whatever. Choco Cat is the winged dragon of Ra. Similarly, that one's crazy because Choco Cat's just a little bookworm nerdy guy, and then you got this big scary dragon. Kuromi is Slifer the Sky Dragon. Not spooky enough, but it works. But there you go, folks. In case you were wondering, now that I can properly judge them, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Cross Sanrio McDonald's elaboration. I still really want Pumper and Exodia. Let's give a little flesh.
I'm pretty sure I have a couple of these somewhere in the house, but
oh man, I gotta pick up some of these. I really want Pumper.
It was such a
Cinnamon Blue Eyes.
Bizarre idea in the first place.
It's so bizarre. And okay, look, I know I said Hello Kitty and Dark Magician it had to be, but we had because Kitty's name is Kitty White, isn't it? We could have had Hello Kitty White Dragon. It was right there. But anyways. All right, Al. I'm done. You're free. I'm free from my nonsense.
Thank you, Kevin, for joining us. Where can people find you on the internet?
Find me over at Rainbow Road Radio, done with our mutual friend Alex, podcast about all things Mario. We're playing Odyssey here and there, joining. Okay, one thing I just gotta say. I sang the whole dang song. I sang Jump Up Superstar, the whole thing.
You did.
And
it was something.
It's something. Go check that out if you want to hear me sing. I'm not a singer. I do not pretend to be a singer. But
Rainbow Road Radio never ceases to surprise me.
Look, we got a singer. We got Alex writing lyrics now. We're onto something. Oh, I did that Alex even knowing. That was just a bit. I just sent an email. I was like, okay, here. I got 3 takes. Use the best one. So yeah, Rainbow Road Radio. Go over there. We do nonsense. Find me at Cooper Prez on socials, whatever. At the Artist Squared on Blue Sky is my new art account. I made it. I haven't posted as much because I've got a new job, so I've been busy. But I will be posting both my pixel art and non-pixel art, which I've been doing a bit more of lately. So go check that out. What about you, Al? Where do people find you?
You can find me on various social medias as the Scottbot. You can find the podcast on Tumblr at THS Pod and Blue Sky. I think we're on Blue Sky. You can find links to everything to do with the podcast on our website, harvestseason.club, where you can also send us feedback and get a link to our Patreon, patreon.com/THSpod, where you can get access to our bonus podcast episodes, where me and Kevin will be having one predicting the Pokemon Presents on Pokemon Day. So that will be coming out in just over a week after this episode comes out. So come and listen to how wrong we are about everything. We don't know yet.
More than normal.
Yeah, more wrong than normal. Probably. You can also get access to our Slack, where we talk about all things farming games, and you can get a sneak peek at my thoughts on Sugardew Island. I nearly called it Sugardew Valley. Whoops. It's so hard to say the name because it's so similar to so many games. Thank you again, Kevin, for joining me.
Thank you, Al, for having me on.
Thank you, listeners, for listening. And until next time, have a good harvest.
Have a good harvest.
Have a good harvest. The Harvest Season is created by Al McKinley, with support from our patrons, including our pro farmers, Kevin, Stuart, and Elisa. Our art is done by Micah the Brave, and our music is done by Nick Burgess. Feel free to visit our website, harvestseason.club, for show notes and links to things we discussed in this episode.
All right, no other songs or anything. Saved you all.